Okay, what I want to do right now is document this throttle setting mechanism on this carburetor so that I can look at it, because I remember when I put this thing together a long time ago, it was backwards from anything I'd seen before. So let's get a look here. Okay, right now that is the fast setting, wide open setting. That is the idle slowest setting. So now that I've got a picture of that I can look back at, I'm comfortable taking that off. Now, the second thing that I want to look at is the choke on this. And that would be right here. And right now it is not choked. I'm going to choke it. That is the full choke setting, and now I'm going to go back and put it with no choke. Okay, that gives me the documentation I want for this throttle adjustment and the choke adjustment. Alright. Okay, I want to document this wiring right here. The smaller blue wire is actually to ground out the alternator. The larger blue wire is 12 volts going to the fuel shutoff solenoid. Now, the black wire coming off of the fuel shutoff solenoid is ground, and the gray wire coming off the fuel shutoff solenoid is actually the plus 12 volt side. So if those color codes carry over to the other motor, I'll be able to look back at this and rapidly realize that the large blue wire is plus 12 volts. The smaller blue wire is ground. And I've traced them back up here into the switching configuration. So that's documented down. I won't have to retrace that. Okay, let's go look at the other side. Okay, over on this side of the motor, that module is the voltage regulator. Be sure and salvage it. Thing's expensive. There's two wires epoxied going in right here to the voltage regulator that were factory clipped to the two black wires right there coming off of the alternator that's up in there. There's a third wire coming off here that is the output from the voltage regulator. I had some extra wire, just coiled it up. Discovered why I had an intermittent charging getting down here. Got a little damage on this wire right here. Now, tracing this wire out to know exactly where it goes, we'll come up here through this, and I'm going to use this red lead off of the voltmeter, but it goes right there, right on that contact of that switch. Okay, now that I know where that goes and I've documented it, I don't have to re-engineer this. Alright, that gets the wiring documented and that I'm going to need to know about coming back to this motor, and it gets the throttle control and the manual choke control documented so that I don't have to rethink all of that. Well, alright, let's disconnect some stuff. And of course the ground cable to the motor over here on the other side, pretty simple, just disconnect it. Alright, let's take some stuff apart. When I pulled this connector right here apart, I took a closer look at this and realized I'd missed it. There is a fuse inside of this right here. That is the fuse protection for the voltage regulator and the alternator. If something outside of this point right here throws a current path back to the ground chassis of this machine, the fuse will blow, protecting the voltage regulator and the alternator. That thing's expensive. If the new motor does not have that fuse already in it, I need to remember to get this one and move it to the new motor. I suspect it's already in it, but I won't know until I get the motor out of the box. Just wanted to document that. Hey everybody, this soybean farmer. I'm rather pleased with the progress I made here tonight on this project. What we've got here is a garden tractor with the motor removed. I got one oily, grimy mess here. If you think you're seeing a mess up on top, you ought to see the bottom of it where it's slung oil all over the place. I'm thinking about pushing this thing out in the yard, out from the shelter, putting one of them cheap $8 plastic tarps down on the ground, take the tractor and the boom and stand this thing up on the end and put some serious degreaser on it and take the power washer to it, because hey, I fixed the power washer last week, so it's usable. Actually, I washed the truck, got that salt grime off of it where they put salt all over the roads when we had that little ice storm a couple of weeks ago. But I'm really pleased with this. Everything documented on the electrical connections, and hoping that Briggs & Stratton didn't decide to change up a bunch of stuff, so I don't have to sit down and re-engineer everything. But yep, tickled to death with this. And sitting over here, we've got a motor sitting there on the little table. That thing's heavy. I had to think about it 2 or 3 times before I tried to pick it up and walk it over here and set it down. I may end up having to come up with a way to get this choke linkage off of here, because there's something on that other motor called Choke-O-Matic, and from everything I've read about Choke-O-Matic, I don't want it. Keyword search, you can read about it. To me it's foolish and not real bright. I might just take this motor, sometime, I don't know, if I get time. I doubt it. I seem to never get caught up. But all the motor needs is a seal on the bottom side of the crankshaft. And I mean, it ran. But anyhow, that's where I'm at tonight on this project. I've got the motor off of it. And as you saw with all that grease and grime, I sure do not want to put that brand new motor on that thing until I've got it cleaned up. So if it being about 10 minutes to 11 up here, I think I'm going to call it a night. Everybody, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, watching my videos, and leaving comments. I do enjoy that. Well, this is a tired soybean farmer. I'm going to bed. Good night, y'all.